This is a gharial. It is a crocodilian species that is endemic to India and Nepal, and it is quite possibly the most endangered crocodilian species that we know of. Because of this, it is imperative that we keep track of its population numbers at all times. However, this can be quite the difficult thing to do, and this is what I want to talk to you about today. So the big issue with recording gharial abundance is that methods that we use for other crocodilian species are either too costly or unreliable for gharials because they live in a specific set of environmental conditions. And because of this, there is no concrete best method for recording abundance in these animals. Um, Now, I have a few criteria that I'd like to measure these methods by. These are cost effectiveness, safety for both the animals and personnel involved, as well as how successful the method is at collecting data. So the first method I want to talk about is nest counting. So nest counting is when you go out on foot or on vehicle and you count each nest that you physically see. Now, this is easier and safer than any method that involves direct animal handling, especially with potentially dangerous species like gharials. It is also cheaper compared to alternative methods that use advanced technologies. However, there are a couple problems that come with this, specifically for gharials. Um, for one, gharial habitats are much more difficult to traverse on foot nowadays due to changes in the environment, as well as the fact that gharials tend to lay their eggs in inconspicuous holes in the ground. They're what we call hole nesters, and this can be hard to spot, especially compared to other crocodilian species like the American alligator pictured below, which make very visible mound nests. Because of this, we might get an inaccurate count of in of individuals due to missing a few nests. So now I want to show you a video of a wildlife professional counting gharial nest. As you can see, they tend to lay their eggs pretty deep in the sand there. Uh, the next method I want to talk about is photography. Photography is another indirect method, so it's easier and safer than any direct handling methods. Cameras are quite versatile. You can put them in a variety of angles, and this can help you get the ideal photo or video, and you can also mount them on unmanned aerial vehicles. The problem with cameras is that they're very vulnerable to outside factors. The reason I put this funny GIF of the chimpanzee licking the camera is because things like this can happen to you. Curious animals can knock over your cameras, and this can be quite the issue during a study. Cameras are also very vulnerable to the elements. Weather conditions such as heavy rain can really affect the camera's ability to record. Cameras are also susceptible to technological malfunctions. These include things like your SD card not working, or maybe you run out of storage space in the field, and that's obviously a big dilemma. So here I have a couple images that can serve as an example of how we can use cameras to identify individual crocodilians. If we get a photo like the one on the right, we can then look at it and see the unique scute pattern on the back of the crocodilian and identify that individual because each scute pattern is unique. However, a possible problem that comes with gharials is that they are some of the most aquatic crocodilian species. So they spend a lot of their time in water compared to even other crocodilians. And this can make it difficult to get ideal footage or photos. As you can see, that crocodilian pretty much disappeared under the water. Uh, the last method I like to talk about are mark recapture methods. These are any methods that involve you physically marking an animal in any way and then returning to recapture them or view them again and distinguish between them using those marks that you gave them. When it comes to crocodilian species, this is quite good because they're relatively easy to mark. You can notch their tail scutes in unique patterns as well as giving them tags to identify them. This is also quite cheap compared to other methods that involve technology. Um, However, since this involves handling the animals, it is the most dangerous of the methods that I've discussed so far. Now, this is a video of wildlife professionals attaching a radio tag onto a gharial via the scutes on its tail. In my opinion, the best method is cameras because uh, when we use multiple camera methods in tandem, I feel like we can negate a lot of the negative aspects to using cameras. For example, I said that gharials spend a lot of their time underwater, but if we use cameras that function underwater, we can get footage of gharials that spend a lot of their time in the rivers. If we mount cameras on UAVs, we can get a nice bird's eye view, and this drastically decreases our chances of getting any interference from other animal species. And in similar studies, these methods have been used to success uh, for other for counting other aquatic animal species such as otters and sea turtles. I want to take a brief moment to thank all of the literature I cited in creating this presentation, as well as implore you guys to ask me any questions in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Thank you.